it starts off in the lesson titled, and I said, this is not going to do it, but this is what it gave me, our truths. You know, not the truth, but our truths. And it's a reflection, like I said, I can say it of me, but our truths, the questions that he allowed me to come up with as I was just, like I said, writing, was our truth. Are they, is it a fact, a perspective, or a lie? And with that being said, it's something to make all of us reflect on ourselves. And we know that according to who you ask, your truth is a fact. It is and it could be a perspective with the answer. And it could be, in some cases, it's just a flat out lie. And God allowed us to, He causes us to evaluate ourselves. And that's where, like I said, that's why I didn't, when it was, I was on break, it just kind of hit me like that. I didn't know where to go and what to do with it, but thank God, you know, He gives me stuff. He gives all of us stuff. And the big question that He gave me with this lesson is, what is your truth? You know, what is your truth? And we've changed it. I mean, I'm saying it, but I'm asking it in a question form toward the class. But we have changed that and said, what is my truth? You know, what's true to me may not be true to the next person. A lot of times we'll ask for, like if somebody came out and asked if it's muddy outside. Well, I grew up in the country. Mud to me is mud. I mean, it's muddy, you know. But if somebody else asks, there's a little bit of mud on the sidewalk, a little dust on the sidewalk, the person who's not accustomed to that will say, oh, it's muddy outside. Well, I might go out there looking for sloppy mud. But that was the truth for them, but it wasn't, you know, for me, it wasn't muddy to me, it's just a little dirt, you know. So it's like, that's what I was saying, it's like, is it a perspective? Or is it, but it didn't make it wrong to the person who said it, but it didn't make it right to me either. So that's when we have to look at it. Like, you know, like I said, that's where, you know, God He'll show His way in that. And the other question is, well, the actual answer, it was like, what He gave me was, to what is your truth? Is your proof of your truth actual or circumstantial? You know, like the police. We can sit up and accuse people. But do you have evidence that they did something? Is it actual evidence or is it circumstantial evidence? And that's kind of where we're going with it. And with that being said, He just kind of gave me some of the scriptures to go to. And we'll open up with discussion if somebody wants to discuss right now. But I'll go ahead and open up with some scriptures if nobody has a question or comment right now. Does anybody have any?
I have it.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your truth?
It's to each person, they have a different one. And, you know, like I said, my truth may be one thing to me. But when I say that, it may be totally different to you.
So how do you understand what somebody else is saying if you only know your truth? And you don't try to understand their truth.
And that's where I'm getting at right now. That's why I said when God showed me that, He showed this lesson was for us, but it was for me. And it gives you the point of saying, now I need to reevaluate me. And it's a growth process, because once you're used to something all the time, there's not going to be a definite nothing. There's not going to be a quick change, because if you spend all your life feeling one way, you can't change it in 5 minutes. It'll take another portion of your life changing your lifestyle, changing your mindset, changing how we view things, how we view people. So it's a gradual process, you know, and that's what I feel. And like I said, it's just, I didn't know where it was, you know, what it was, but we have to just kind of learn to listen to Him when He does give us things to do or say, or, you know, or assignments. You know, and I think we talked the last time about how sometimes people don't move when you tell them. I had one of my students got baptized, you know, on Sunday, so I left, and she had asked me several times to come. And for a child to ask you to be at a certain place, that's an honor. So while I was there was at the baptism, they had two children get dedicated, two to get baptized. But I'm gonna show you how God started moving in that place. It was like 4 adults got baptized after the baptism. 2 ladies in their 70s, one's about 72, one's about 77. And then there was another one, she was about 30, in her 30s. They said that they weren't there. They weren't slated to get baptized, but the word spoke to them. And one of the 77-year-old lady said, and she really can't tell she's 77, but she said she'd been in church all her life. But when she came to that church, the church got in her. And she said when the church got in her, she quickened her movements and her ears started to change. And she said at that day, this past Sunday, God spoke to her while the kids were getting baptized. And the pastor said, we're talking about her gown. She said, I don't need no gown. She said, the Lord don't do whatever he needs to do with me. These clothes are just temporary garments. And that was so profound to see that. You know, this is a lady I've been knowing basically all of my life. And, you know, she's been a good person, but she said that she'd been in church. That when she made that statement, you've been in church all your life, and now the church is in you. That says a whole lot. She said what it called her to do at that instant was quickly move when God tells you to do something. Quickly move when you hear him, because a lot of times we hear him with the carnal, we don't hear him with the spirit here. And we have to learn to get out of that. And the preacher said something at that time and said, well, finishing the story with the church, not only did they get baptized, but another couple, older couple in their 60s, came and gave their lives and joined that church. They said they couldn't sit there anymore. And it was one of their granddaughters that got baptized. But the pastor had said something that was very profound also. He said, when God tells us to move, we got to move with quickness. And he said, think about the woman at the well. Think about, the woman whose daughter was sick. And think about blind Bartimaeus. Had he not moved, because Jesus was only passing through that way one time. Had he not moved when the Spirit spoke to him, he wouldn't have regained his eyesight. And that's when he said that a lot of times we don't move. When he tells us, we're quick to say, Lord, I'll just get it later on. I'll go down a way. When he speaks to us and tells us to do stuff, he instructs us, he wants us to move in faith. And when we move in faith, he can work with it. But when we say, oh Lord, if God says I want to bless you on, August 28th, when I said, Lord, something happens, I'll just wait till next week. I'll wait till September 3rd. I'll be ready then. He didn't say be ready in our time. Be ready in his time. And that's what we have to learn to do. So with that being said, coming back to the truth, we have to learn to be honest, with ourselves and the things that we hear. And a lot of times we don't want to hear. Because a lot of times we ask God for stuff that's going to favor us. He ain't going to tell you that all the time. He's not going to tell us that. Not all the time. Some of the things might. However, if he favors us, it's in his will. If he doesn't, and we don't like it, we don't want it. At least we don't think we do. But when we start learning to say, hey, Lord, I'll submit, this is what you want, then we have to be faithful in and honest and moving. And I always, you know, I don't always refer back to what Shauna would always say, she was first or another with her saying it that way in Sunday school. And she would always tell us that delayed obedience is disobedience. You know, delayed obedience is we can cut off our own blessings. It's not that God say, oh, I don't want to bless you today. God already told us you need to be honest with everything about you and be where I need you to be. Then I can bless you. And we don't do, you know, a lot of times we haven't done that. And like I said, I can start with me. You know, when we do that, we might as well be honest with ourselves. And in doing so, in this lesson, the first scripture, if somebody will go to 1 Corinthians. Oh, I'm sorry, does anybody have anything you want to say on that? Like I said, I'm going to need y'all, I need you. Back and forth. But 1 Corinthians 2:13, and this is the verse dealing, scripture dealing with truth. Somebody will read that. Then after that one, somebody will do 1 Timothy 3:9. So the first one is 1 Corinthians 2:13. The next one is 1 Timothy 3:9. And one more is Hebrews 5:12. So somebody, and these are the scriptures dealing with truth as they are printed in the Bible. So somebody would read the first one aloud.
This is what we speak, not in words taught by us by human wisdom, but in words taught by the Spirit, explaining spiritual realities with Spirit-taught words.
All right, if anybody has anything that they want to expound on that particular scripture. Could you read one more time, Andrea? I'm sorry.
Not adding to this about it.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
This is what we speak, not in words taught us by human wisdom, but in words taught by the Spirit, explaining spiritual realities with Spirit-taught words.
And you know, and a lot of times, and that goes back, and I guess, like I said, like this is clearly clarifying a lot of, because if we are teaching it based on what we've been taught, we're teaching it based on our environmental development. You know, a lot of things, one of the things that we have at school, we kind of experience these things at school. You have these children who use some harsh cuss words. And to us, that's not right. But when we take ourselves out and put them in those kids' shoes, a lot of these kids grow up in homes where they're not told, son, sit down, you know, or be quiet or something like that. We can't let those kids grow up in an environment where they're harshly cussed out. And if that's the environment that they've known from the time that they were able to hear and start talking, that's actually normal for them. So to them, the truth is, well, my mama do it, it's okay. Well, my dad do it, it's okay. But the reality is, when you get out in the world, everybody don't do that. You know, everybody don't do that. And it's like, it's a culture shock, it's a reality check for the children. But it's a reality check for us as educators to see people do this. You know, because if you don't do that yourself, you don't realize, oh, people actually do it, you know, children like it. Because in your mind, it's like, oh, why these kids always, you know, and I'm not saying that our kids are always like that, but just in general, why do these kids always, you know, solve conflict with fighting? Why do they always solve conflict with, you know, want to say some of these wrong things that a kid shouldn't even say right now? Well, it's because their environment has taught them that that's normal. You know, but when we're in spirit, like you said, Andrew, the spirit is an equalizer. And once you get the spirit, that equalizer kind of says, hey, that's not the way it should be. you know, and a lot of people argue against that because they'll say, hey, who said spirit, right? You know, you got people who will say that, who come in with that argument. So, but when you're looking at it, it's like, is the truth based on biblical perspective? Is it the truth taught by what we teach in our home? Or is it the truth taught by the Spirit, what the Spirit guides us? All right, if anybody have any arguments or any, you know, anything that they would say, like to say on that? All right, if not, we'll go on to the next one, 1 Timothy 3:9. If somebody will read that.
Of the deep truths of the faith with a clear.
Okay, well, the deep truths of the faith, right? And once again, it said the surface, it said the deep truth. And those are the hidden truth. We can hide our external truth. We can camouflage them. We can make people, you know, like people like that always say, you know, people are, you know, when they're doing social media, they're you know, they're moved up all the time, and they're, you know, they've got this lavish lifestyle. You got, you know, these cars, you know, you got this house, but not to realize that, okay, you can't really make it financially and relationship-wise, but not with, you know, it's not altogether the way it seems. So that's a surface truth that people will want everybody to believe. But the reality is, when you're, the deep truth is, okay, what's really going on? You know, and that's where the reality check comes, like I said, for us as individuals, okay? It's like search inside ourselves deep enough to find out what's the core of our problems or our existence or our, you know, our inefficiencies. What is the core? And that's when we search that deep, we can start to be honest with ourselves. And once you're able to do that, that's where the external honesty comes, where you don't have to put on the facade. You know, you just live and say, it's a reality. You know. Anybody have anything they want to say on that? Any comment or anything? I ain't gonna say nothing there. Go ahead.
No, I was just listening,
Okay.
but you're right, you just soul search yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And the next one is Hebrews 5:12. Somebody will read that.
In fact, though, by this time, you ought to be teachers. You need someone to teach you the elementary truths of God's word all over again. You need milk, not solid food.
And because the reality of that is, a lot of times we really can't handle the truth. When people say it, we you know, like I said, we really can't. And a lot of times we don't realize when people do say or tell us the truth, where our weaknesses are revealed at. And a lot of times, you know, we're not supposed to be real about it when our weaknesses are revealed. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for everybody. And that's, you know, that's just the reality. You know, it's like, so you have to, from the spiritual perspective, understand that this person is touch and go in this area. So with that touch and go, I got to treat them as such. I mean, it's just like with the baby. You know, we won't feed a baby a full pork chop and don't have teeth yet. You know, we don't just feed it to feed it to them as a full solid pork chop and you know, all that, and they don't have any teeth or any ability to digest or break down that food. And that's where the reality of the truths come with us. You know, the way God wants us to be able to do it with each other. It's like, okay, I'm going to, well, let me say it like this. If he did it with us, we couldn't handle it. If he showed us how big of a sinner we were, we couldn't handle it. you know, it would drive some of us crazy. If he just openly just started to reveal, okay, Walter, remember, you did this, you this much of a sin. So why you can't forgive your brother? Why you can't forgive your sister? Because they did this little one thing to you. You know, and that's where so many times whenever we come to the church for this, you know, we can say church folk and not Christian. Because if you're truly a Christian, it goes back to handing out that truth in the small bits where you don't really belittle anybody to say that truth. But so many church folk, we get to the point where they want to give you the raw, unadulterated truth about what this person's doing and not doing. And they just quit doing that thing yesterday. Or they still doing it and not called it. But they come out in public, and like I said, once again, like what you said with that surface truth. That surface truth is what they want everybody to see. I'm here, I'm all put together on Sunday. But Monday or Sunday night, you know, I'm doing my thing. You know, but as soon as somebody else comes in the church that are not put together, and that's why we can just, I can't say it enough, that we can applaud Jeff and the way he handles things and people. It's like we have no, if aside from this word right here, this is the only way we can judge anybody. But I can't judge anybody on their actions, because either I'm doing what you did, I have done what you're doing, or I'm going to do what you do. Either way, there's a point that we are, you know, we shouldn't point fingers, because of the simple fact that, oh, I'm not there right now, or I'm not doing it right now, so I'm perfect now. You know, you still out there in the street, okay. But if that person being honest with who they are, they're the ones that are living the truth, honestly. You know, if you're in here, when, you know, a church every Sunday, at every auxiliary meeting, at every Bible study, at every Sunday school, but then your life is totally different once you're not in the spotlight. Who's living the truth and who's living the lie? You know, and in that person's mind, when it goes back to what is your truth, what is that person's truth? You know, the one who's living out there and don't care who sees them because they still come to church. That person living the truth. They don't have anything to hide. I just, you know, they know, like Jeff said, you know, I don't care if they came right from the club to here, at least they're here. You know, but when you were at the club with them, and you left an hour early so you can just freshen up and come get in the church clothes, and you get here, and then the ones coming in out of the club, you looking at them all, you know, twisted eyed and acting like they're, you know, so wrong. You were right there with them. So what makes you better? And honestly, when we look at it like that, it makes you worse. Because you pass in judgment, and we know what the word says, judge you not lest ye be judged on that same measure. So the same thing, you judging that person on the same club that you judging them for being, just coming from, something's going to reveal you being in the club, you know. Because we don't, you know, and that's the way God can only do that. So we have to be honest with ourselves and stop, once again, living that surface facade and knowing deep down who we really are. What's this? Yes.
I know I'm a complete mess.
Yeah.
That I made a post that that's long. I said, look at it. All of us.
Yeah. Everyone. And we can go through the scripture with that, and we know some scripture that all of us know. He said, for all have sinned and come short of the glory. He didn't say some of us are sinned. He didn't say some of sinned a little bit more. He didn't say some sinned a little bit less. He didn't say your sin was not as bad as that next person's sin. He said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But the thing is, here's the saving part. He grants us grace and mercy all the time. What if? Well, let's go with the scripture. What it said. He said, God is God. He was a jealous God. And if he is a jealous God, that means deep down inside, he hates the fact that we sin. what if God lived his truth in the reality of what he said toward us? What if God said, you know, we went back to the Old Testament, on the law instead of under grace? What if we got to that point? Will there same one of us who judge everybody else, we still judge? No, we would, like you said, right? We wouldn't even be here. You know, and that's what we have to have the reality of and get the understanding of, is God is great, God's grace and his mercy is with us always, and he keeps us. And at that time, at that point, if he's able to do that for me and everybody else, why can't we do that for everybody? You know, I want to look at, there was another scripture that says, it talks about promotion, and I'm going to kind of retrofit promotion. He said promotion comes from God, not from man. And thank God, it is that way. We always reference it in the form of a job. But promotion could be in blessing, promotion could be in favor, promotion could be in everything. All that comes from God. So if Devon didn't like me and she had the power to promote me, she didn't like me, but she liked Miguel, who's going to get the promotion? And if she did promote me and didn't like me, as soon as I mess up, who's going to pull me down? She'll snatch the rug from under me. And that's what, you know, thank God that he has an unbiased approach to everything. He knows, and the sad thing about it, with us, the good thing about it, let me rephrase it, the good thing about it, he knows what we're deficient in and still brings favor to us. It's like, yeah, I know he messed up, but he still likes me. He has this gift, or she has this gift, and this, and I'm going to promote because this is the person that I want there. This is the person who can get my message to where it needs to be. So God is not sitting up saying, I don't like it. I don't like it, so no. You know, the truth of the matter is he didn't sit and say, well, I don't like it, and he didn't, you know, say that he must still do something for him. No, he loves us all. So his truth is that he loves us unconditionally. And that's what he wants us to do and for us. And when we dig deep down in ourselves, our flesh, it's not going to let us be 100% that way. We can, like they, you know, like they could always say, you know, according to which man you feed, we can feed the ego of the flesh man, and it'll supersede the action of the spirit man. But if we spend time and feed the spirit man, the flesh man will die. It'll start to die daily. So when we do that, we need to look at it and say, okay, can I love this person that don't love me? And I think we had the Sunday school lesson, was about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it was when we were talking about, we were discussing it was about 4 weeks ago, Tania, when we were discussing that going to somebody who you know don't like you. The truth is, how many of us want to do it? First of all, you know, you haven't done, if you know I know I haven't done nothing wrong to that person. That person hates me. But the word says, go to him. Even though you've done nothing wrong. That's a hard pill to swallow. If I know I haven't done anything but try to help this person, you know, be nice to this person, they hate me for no reason. But God said, go to them and apologize. Go to them and ask for forgiveness. You know, in the reality that we see, it don't make sense. But in the spiritual reality, it does. What does he do for us every day? Every day. And we don't always sin through omission. We sin through commission. We deliberately sin. He still forgives us. He don't sit and say, oh, we'll walk. Didn't know that he was sinning when he did that. But when I know that I have done sin, he said, walk like us that he don't cut us off. Because the day he cut us off, that's a problem. You know, I'm gonna go back to what one of our, we had a charter bus driver, and I know I've shared it with the Sunday school class, and everybody might have heard me say it before, but he said in his words, I mean, we were just having a conversation while we were riding along. And he said, you know, the word that tells us God before us, who can be against us? He said, but think about if God be against us, who can help us? Nobody. If God moves his hand off of us, we uncover that nothing, nobody can do to help us in any way. And we need to look at it from that perspective once we get to the point of passing judgment on other people. You know? So, and that's, you know, that was a deep statement. He didn't realize about it. Like, it didn't sink in until about a couple of miles later. Wow, that's something. You know, and I know I've shared this with y'all, with the clients of the church. It was like during the time I was, you know, I had some other things going on that I needed to pay the bill. And just like I told y'all, I was, you know, just me. And I went to this buddy of mine. I had two buddies, and I said, well, one of them might have money. He usually have some. I just need to borrow a couple $100 from him until next, you know, later. And the other one, I said, I know he always has money. But when God, and I'm not saying that God had his hand off me, but God was showing me some stuff. He said, learn to trust me, learn to depend on me. And that's what he was trying to get me to do, to be a point where I can, you know, just faithfully trust and depend on him. So I went to the one buddy, and the first one said, man, look, I'm broke. I'm having a hard time this month. And the second one, when I got to his house, he was standing on his garage, out in his garage on his carport, and he was like, oh, he said, you just the man I need to see. He said, before I get out truck, he said, man, I need $200. He's like, I'll pay it. I'm like, I can't get it from you. But when, you know, when God shows us, you know, in situations such as that, and that's when that statement that the man said became reality for me. Because, like I said, I'm not saying that God had his hand off me, because I know he did. But at the same time, he moved that little threshold from around me to show me that Walker, just trust me. Don't hold people, trust me, come to me. And the same, like I said, with that being said and done, it's like, okay, you trusted me, I go call people you needed to call. I got back and I just soaked in my feeling for a little while, and I called the people, and they were like, oh, Mr. Taylor, you never missed a payment with us, so your bill has, we have forbearance credits. And you overpaid some of your money if you want to, you don't have to just wait and offset your bill for the next, you have 3 more left. How many people want to use today? I said, what do you mean? She started telling me what it was, because I didn't even know anything about it at that time, and I never had used it. But it was like, you had granted forbearances that didn't allow interest to occur on the bill. And she was like, well, you just about paid it off. You never missed a payment, and you're ahead on some of it. So here, use these. She was like, most times I tell you, you use one. She asked me how many did I want to use that day. I was like, okay. I said, Lord. And I was like, you know, but not trusting him because he was telling me, just call me first. No, I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to go ask my buddies who I felt had it. He had told me before I left home to call me. But I went and did it my way, and it didn't work. Came back and did it the way he told me from the beginning. It worked, and it cost me nothing. But we have to learn to get into the point where we hear God and we listen at the truth. And like I said, the truth is going to be hard. It's not going to always be what we like. It's not going to always be how we like it. And that's what we, you know, have to understand. Before I go to the next part, does anybody have anything they want to say, any comment they want to make, any experience that they've had? But before I go ahead, my mom always has these things, you know, older people come up with sayings that, where did you get that from? She would say something about if somebody likes to lie all the time, she would said she had this thing, she said, boy, they want to climb the tallest tree and lie to you to stand on the ground and tell you the truth. She said, they climb the highest tree and lie to you to stand on the ground and tell you the truth. See, all you have to do is tell the truth and it won't be a problem. And it's amazing, you know, to hear that, but it's like, you know, those were sayings that they had, but when you think about it, it's like, wow, this person just made it up. I didn't even ask them for that, and they made it up. You know, we don't know about it like that. But they just manufacture something and just, yeah. Yes. All right, the next set of scriptures deal with lying. Proverbs 19:22 and Numbers 23:19. So I would read those.
Proverbs 19:22. What a person desires is unfailing love, better to be poor than a liar.
You'd rather have nothing than be an untrusted person. I mean, at least you have your dignity in your word. All right, Numbers 23:19.
God's not human that he should lie, not a human being that he should change his mind.
Last one. John 8:44.
You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, but there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies.
We don't know it about it like that. Every word comes out of their mouth is a lie. And but the sad thing about it is like what we said at the beginning, like what I was saying at the beginning, is like to so many people who that's normal life, that's reality for them. Some, you know, the sad thing about it, the one that you just read in Dream, those lies are actually truths to them. Because that's what they've lived in and that's what they've done, and that's how they get it appointed from. You know, it's like, okay, because what they're gonna do, they're gonna tell the next lie to cover that lie. Then they're gonna tell the next lie to back that other one up. Then they're gonna it's just gonna be a constant lie. But once again, getting them to see the reality of, man, why don't you just tell the truth? That's not normal to them. And it's, for some people, it's sad to say, but it's impossible to do. It's impossible. I feel like, and it's just my interpretation, but I feel like that is a point of strength for them, a point of control, where they feel like, if I tell the truth, then they can find me out. But as long as I lie, I'm in control of this situation because I can say what I want to say. I can say what I believe. And I'm going to go back to Reverend Hammond when they had friendship. Reverend Hammond had this saying. He said the first thing he would say was, when a liar tells a lie long enough, they start believing. And he said also another one that he said, now, if you ever found a man, he said, as long as the man got a mouth cut like ours, he'll lie to you. He said, but if you ever find one with his mouth cut up and down, invite you to listen to him. Because it's something different about it. The word might come out a little different, but it's a reality. I mean, when you think about this, it's just something to think about, but it goes back to what, you know, to what you just said. It's like those people live in it. It's like pigs in mud. You clean pigs up and put them in a clean pen. But next few days, it's gonna be a hog pen, just what it says. You can clean them, as long as they do everything, it's clean, solid ground. But in a few days, leave them there long enough, they wanna wallow in the mud. Wash their pig off and see what happens to them. Put it back in the pen, the first thing you're gonna do is lay that. That's the very first thing. But it's a norm for the pig for, and I know this has nothing to do with agriculture, but it's a norm for the pig because the mud, so it's two things. It's an identity of who they are. That's the one thing. That's what the lion does. And it is actually a true protection of them because it protects their skin. So that lion, and that's what makes it normal for the pig because it's basically a natural sunblock because of their fair skin. So that lion is basically a hedge of protection because of the fact that they know that they're not on solid ground at all times. They know they told a lie 20 years ago to get what they got. They know they told a lie when they went in and said they had experience in this position on the job, and they know they did it. But they keep lying because they don't want anybody to find out that they really don't know the job like they're supposed to. And the lies include lying on everybody around them to build themselves up. And we know people like that, like you said a minute ago, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. But the same thing, when we go back to what you said, Javon, in your reading was, when we seek it from the spiritual truth, then we don't have that lie to worry about. We don't have that facade to even concern ourselves about, because if I know the truth, I'm gonna speak boldly and faithfully on the truth. And I know who I am, whose I am, and what I am. I know, and when we get to the point where it's like, okay, I know my weaknesses, so if they lie on me, I don't have anything to hide. I already know they say I did this, and I know that that's an area. If they say I drank, and that's an area I'm weak in, I'm gonna be honest enough to say, yeah, you know what? I'm weak in that area. Because when they catch you starting to defend, that's when they know they got control. But when you say, hey, here it is, talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it with you. Maybe you can provide me with something that's gonna help me to strengthen up my weakness, to shore it up. And that's what liars feel like, oh, I got something on him now. I saw Walt drinking fifth of innocent. I'm just saying, I saw him drinking that, and you know he was drunk. But that's what a liar would do, because it's like that one thing that because people will look at us, and we might as well be honest about it, people look at us and realize that they even though they don't tell us this, oh, you got your life together. They see the outside. Not that you're saying you're acting like you do, not that you're trying to exploit yourself as being all this, but when you don't worry about it and you do the best you can, people on the outside that are insecure are gonna look at it and say, oh, she got her life together. I bet she, well, he got his life together. I bet she messing up in here. And they'll start seeking to find stuff just to pull you down in that one area. And we, and those people do exist. What's up, Gail?
Oh, yeah.
Full force. Yes. All right. Anybody have anything else they would like to say? Like I said, I need somebody. Are we out of time? Yep, we're just about. Come on, like we was.
We agree with you.
Yeah, but I
Conversation back.
yeah, come back.
Congregation is really quiet and you're thinking business of don't feed them up. Remember, I think you were Bishop Brown, somewhere over in Cornerstone about 2 years ago. Bryce and Glenn, you remember? Because I remember, she was like kind of feeding to the pastor, like, y'all be waiting to say something, you just think about to be thinking process because there be people like, think like, So every time they get quiet, it's awesome, man.
Oh.
I'm saying that.
Oh,
It's being hard.
all right, so I'll go back there. Since nobody has any closing remarks or comments, I'll just go back. Like I said, the title this time, and like I said, I was gonna come out of the Sunday school lesson. You know, I said, don't do it. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we talk about. Because I put it as a Sunday school lesson. Well, all my outlines still. It's like, okay, that'll be for every time. But once again, the lesson is, our truths. And is it a fact, a perspective, or a lie? And we can discuss every aspect of that. So some of our truths are facts, but they may be only facts to us. Or some of our truths may be facts that are overall facts. And the other one is, the truth to me is a perspective thing. Like, once again, like I use the example with the children. When a child feels like he or she can say, call the other child all kinds of little, crazy names or whatever, is normal for them. So the perspective for them is, well, my cousin do it, my mama do it, my dad do it, so it's normal. That's the perspective that they have. But our perspective as educated is, it ain't normal for kids to do. And we try to correct them. That's normal for people to do, because if we didn't grow up in that environment, when we hear other people, and I know I do this, me myself, when I hear other people just outright cussing out in public, I'm not saying that that I'm perfect, because I know, we all, said some or definitely heard some. But when you hear people just kind of outright cussing in public, I kind of cringe, because, when you look around and say, okay, man, I don't talk like you. Everybody, sometimes you have people on the phone. Damn, if this, they just using all those kind of things out in public where you may be at a, ordering food at a restaurant. And you got your children there, you got families, you got elders there, and that conversation is supposed to be on the phone, but everybody in the restaurant can hear them. And it's like, in their perspective, that's normal language. It's normal language, and to us, it's not. I had to get that reality check this summer with my Oklahoma students, and I thank God for that experience wholeheartedly, because I learned from them, they learned from me. And I told them, I said, when you come in my class, I said, I already know, y'all teenagers, I know how y'all talk among each other. I said, but I'm just asking you not to do it in my class, not to let me hear you. And that was the protocol that got set between us and them. So one day we were in class, and I told them, I said, y'all talk and discuss, whatever was going on. They had a little discussion in the back, and one little girl, she was just talking to her friend. They weren't heated or anything, it was just a regular conversation. And she threw a couple of them out real quick. She didn't realize I heard her, but I was standing at the front. And I just kind of looked up. And the first thing she did was she jumped up out of her seat and ran to the desk and said, Mr. I'm so sorry. She said, I'm so sorry. She said, but that's just how we talk now. And I told her, I appreciated her honesty. But I told her, I said, I know that. I said, that's why I told you from the beginning. Try to, control it in here. She said, but it just come out natural. I said, I understand that. And the fact that she did come up and say that she acknowledged that. And when they left out, her and one of her friends, they were walking and said, you know what, we're gonna make sure she don't do that. And it's like, I laughed about it, and they were like, it's all right, it's cool. I'm just letting you know, I understand, where you are, but I need you to understand where we are. And one day, God just kind of put it in my spirit, so look, you talked about all this, let's just talk about life with them. And at the end of that conversation, I was telling them how, I said, we, 30 and 40 and 50 something year olds, I said, we grew up in a totally different era. I said, you all are at this age now, you're growing up totally different from us. So we have to learn to meet in the middle somewhere. And I was telling them what we do, what we expect, why their parents tell them they can't go places, why your parents, if you got a phone, your parents don't call you to check on you. And one of the little girls at the end of class, she jumped in, she was so animated, she said, she just yelled it out loud. She said, Mr. Taylor, guess what? I said, what? She said, you just helped me understand my mama and my grandma. I said, how did I do that? She said, you made me know what they were thinking, why they called me, why they want me to go places. I said, that's what it is. We've been there, done that. We were 16, 17, 18 at one time. You know, we didn't understand when our parents said no. We didn't want to understand, we just wanted what we want. However, it's our job and our duty to do that now in the past. So the truth of the matter is now, their truth is the truth of uncensored. I mean, you know, just totally uncensored. Totally uncensored. Ours was the truth of censorship. But does it make it right or wrong? It doesn't. It makes it annoying for them because this is the world environment they're living in. That wasn't the way we lived. Doesn't mean that we accept it. Doesn't mean that they accept us fully. But somewhere we have to meet and understand this is their truth now. Because our truth, our parents didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear NWA, so I didn't play it now. You know, they didn't want to hear Tupac. Now, you know, I played when I got in the car, I rode on my way. But that was the truth, though. It was my new truth at that time, because I was coming into that, but their truth was they didn't want to hear. You know, the kids, you know, they would call that boom, boom. They didn't want to hear that mess. That's what they would call it, you know. All right, like I said, if nobody has any more, I appreciate you all's attending here. I needed some comments about it. I was like, sorry, I get it next time. Next time I teach, whenever I teach. Right? Thanks, Mom. All right. All right, at this time, we're going to close out with the prayer.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the message tonight. Please allow us to understand the difference between the truth and the lie. Please go with everyone as we travel this evening. Give us blessings and safe passage.
Yes.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Can't put the other one on. Yes, ma'am.
Remember that.
Did you drive here? Did you drive there?
That would be. Look, I can't say a word.